One Zambia, One Nation, and thanks for joining us on Zanis News. To present, my name is Juliet Mtale. Top stories in the news tonight. President Higa calls for collaboration in safeguarding the environment. Sport cash payment elects Muchinga farmers. Directive to address unstable fuel price welcomed. Plus, football fraternity aged to keep Dennis Lua's legacy. Zanis News in detail. President Hakainde Higa has called for concerted efforts from various stakeholders and government in safeguarding the environment and realizing economic transformation. President Higa said this will help guarantee maintenance of an ecological balance to protect the environment and to conserve natural resources. Here are the details.
Climate change is real and affecting the world over, Zambia inclusive. In its efforts to find solutions that lead to a sustainable environment, government today officially opens the 2023 Environmental Protection Dialogue at the Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka. And President Hakainde Higa was represented by the Acting Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Rodney Sikumba.
Let us also be mindful that as our economy grows, our demand for extraction of natural resources also grows. This leads to more environmental degradation, depletion of natural resources, and creation of unhealthy ecosystems. But if we are to put correct measures in place, transform our mindsets and become responsible citizens and investors, this situation can adequately be prevented, halted, and in some cases reversed.
For concerted efforts to materialize, traditional leaders have appealed for equal sharing of information to close the knowledge gap on matters of climate change.
The problem we have is we don't have knowledge. We as traditional leaders, we don't have knowledge. We are not taught these things. We are not briefed. We don't know those things. We lack that knowledge. So as long as we lack that knowledge, then we can't impute it to the community.
Partners in environmental protection have committed their support to Zambia in the promotion of a green economy.
Sweden and the Swedish Chemicals Agency and the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency are partnering with ZEMA and the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment to address issues ranging from regulating and managing pesticides to the management of environmental and social impacts in the mining sector.
Our programs, especially on promotion of the green economy to support ecotourism towards biodiversity financing, are some of the key areas where UNDP and indeed the UN family continues to partner.
And Justice for Climate Change explains the theme.
The theme, environmental equity and eco protection, is a powerful call to action. It serves as a reminder that our environmental efforts must be rooted in principles of fairness and inclusivity.
Meanwhile, President Hakainde Higa was also awarded at this event for his commitment towards environmental protection.
May this award that is being presented today be a daily reminder of his leadership efforts and commitment to championing climate change and promoting environmental justice in the Republic of Zambia.
Wopesonde for Zanis in Lusaka.
And in Southern Province, Vice President Mwanawasa says government intends to develop resettlement schemes through partnerships with the private sector and cooperating partners. Mrs. Nalumango says this is in order to make resettlement schemes a hub of economic development, and the Malundu resettlement scheme in Mansa District will be used as a model. She said this in the Malundu resettlement scheme in Chief Hamsonde's chiefdom when she handed over a block-making machine. Details in this report.
The Vice President, Mutalena Lumango, visited Malundu resettlement in Chief Hamsonde's chiefdom, where 66 households that were affected by floods early this year have been relocated. Malundu resettlement is among the 96 resettlements that government intend to develop as a model scheme.
These, we have said, will be hubs of development. Economic activity is something that we envisage in the resettlement. Just because you hear me talking, you wonder, how do I come in? This all falls under the office of the Vice President. So this is something that we want to see. This is more of a pilot for now. We intend to have it replicated, and we don't want people to just jump in. This is where we are coordinating other ministries that have activity in the resettlement. We want a better, resettlement.
The Vice President also announced the vision of government on the resettlements.
We cannot again start constructing where the toilet is a pit latrine there. No, we have said no. This is an opportunity to construct something reasonable for our people, something with resilience built in so that people don't have to run to and fro. So we are here, Honorable Ministers, and all our partners, including the private sector.
And the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Vice President in charge of resettlement, Mavis Commission, shared some of the benefits that will come with this development.
Your Honor, the goal of the project is to develop a climate-resilient human resettlement that is productive and self-sustaining. Your Honor, some of the expected results from this project, Your Honor, are to erect 66 resilient houses for internally displaced persons, which will be constructed soon. Some of the key features of this resettlement are that we're building using local material, Your Honor, and we're not cutting trees for making blocks. We're using interlocking blocks. We're also erecting modern sanitation services, no pit latrines, Your Honor. We are going to go with flushable toilets.
All the houses will be built from local materials. Soils have been collected from within the scheme. With the interlocking block making machine, we'll be able to produce at least 66,000 blocks to cover for all the 66 households that have been resettled here. And we'll move step by step, building the local community's skills and their own ability to mold the blocks, interlock, and do maintenance of these buildings.
Priscilla Sinkoko reporting in Monze, Southern Province.
We move to the eastern part of the country. Chipata District has received its allocation of over 100,000 metric tons of compound D and urea fertilizer under the 2023-2024 Farmer Import Support Program. Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda has disclosed to Zanis that the district received 51,714 by 50 kilogram bags of compound D and 51,714 of 50 kilogram bags of urea fertilizer for this coming season. Sylvester Chimbana reports.
It has received its allocation of urea fertilizer under the 2023-2024 Farmer Input Support Program. Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda inspected the storage sheds in the district.
Very happy because we have come to confirm whether Agrizam has been able to supply us with the needed fertilizers. And we are very happy that Agrizam has been equal to the task. As you are aware, last week we went to check on D, and D we have received in full as well. And today we are confirming urea we have received in full as well. So as a district, we are ready for our farmers. So far, they have started the depositing, and 4,185 farmers have deposited. And this is an ongoing thing. We believe by the end of the month, more farmers would have deposited and they would have redeemed their fertilizers.
The DC made an appeal to the farmers.
All we would want to ask our farmers is that they should start getting ready with their fields. But again, it's a warning to our farmers that this fertilizer they're going to receive, it's not for sale. They should not sell it, but they should use it in their fields. As you know, this year, there's hunger looming. So it will be unwise for any farmer to sell any bag of fertilizer. They should use it for the intended purposes. And that intended purpose is to produce more maize. And that maize should be sold to FRA at the end of the day.
Agrizam Investments Limited is the distributor of the inputs in the district.
As Agrizam, We are delighted to inform you that we've received 100% allocation for FISIP for 2023-2024 season for Chipata. As I'm speaking now, I can confirm to say, as a tourism, we are ready to start the redemptions for farmers, for inputs for farmers for Chipata District. The total allocation for Chipata, which we've received, is 585.7 metric tons. That's the allocation for Chipata. As it is now, everything is in place. We'll just wait for a signal from the ministry to give us a go-ahead so that we can start the redemptions.
And District Agriculture Coordinating Officer Victor Zulu says the distribution of inputs in Chipata is soon to commence.
When the cards select the number of the farmers that are supposed to benefit in a cooperative, depending on how many farmers are there in a cooperative, not all the cooperative members might benefit. And so I think the encouragement has been that when farmers use the park for the intended portion of land, it helps government in that there's no distortion on production. And so sometimes you get farmers wanting to help the other who may not have benefited this year or this time around. Sometimes you get those kind of stories, but I think the target is that one farmer, one pack. That is the intention of the government.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata.
Government is set to distribute over 56,000 bags of fertilizer to the farming for the 2023-2024 farming season. Provincial Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanawasa says that government, through the Department of Community Development, distributed 56,141 bags of fertilizer to 2,048 households. More in this report.
It was all joy for the people of Mukobwe area in Ngabwe district. This was at the occasion of the handover of alternative livelihood intervention to food security pack beneficiaries. Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanawasa graced the function and has warned of punitive measures against abuse.
There is a problem, and the problem that we are not going to condone, the CWACs. We want to support you. We want to support you, but support government. Support government as CWACs. 3 bags are given to an individual, but a CWAC member says we are only giving you 1, 2 to lesunga. If we ever get to hear of a CWAC member who does that, you will be arrested.
Provincial Community Development Officer Tyson Chipeta has encouraged the food security pack beneficiaries to embrace a culture of paying back in order for more people to benefit.
So we are encouraging you. My inputs yakabwera kuli ma households yaja monga kuno kungawe there about 1,048 households. Make sure that time ikafika ijayo breza ku community mwabreza, so that the community again can benefit like what you are going to benefit today.
Ngabwe District Commissioner Hector Filongwe has noted that most of the beneficiaries are women.
Sir, as you can see, most of them, they are women. The women are the people that keep this, who are also involved in farming.
Judith Chalwe, in a vote of thanks, urged fellow beneficiaries of the program to pay back for sustainability.
If you think to, if you have to pay, mukupoka muri fertilizer, ubuya antanshinga mwabwesha. If you think to have to pangira mo budget ukubwesha. Twapapa tanga batu pela. Bwesheni, batwale kuma accounts. Pakuti ubuya antanshibuise.
Food Security Pack is a targeted program aimed at benefiting vulnerable but viable households. Zanis reports in Ngabwe District, Central Province.
Now, government has expressed happiness over the concluded concession deal to construct the 79.8 million United States dollar 55 kilometers Katete Chanida Road project. Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mwitwa says the project, which will be done through a public-private partnership module, will also see the construction of the bridges. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka today, Mr. Mwitwa says that government has awarded the contract to Lutembwe Consulting Limited of Eastern Province to promote and appreciate Zambian contractors. And Mr. Mwitwa, who is also chief government spokesperson, says government, through the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation, has completed the rehabilitation works of the water pipelines from Kafue, which is serving Lusaka, to help address the erratic water supply. He further stated that the opportunities for various incentives in government will favor all citizens. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwitwa has described the video circulating on social media platforms depicting President Hakainde Higa's voice, saying he will not contest the 2026 general elections is fake. He said the propaganda is a danger to democracy and peace, and has warned perpetrators to desist from circulating such videos as they have the potential to misinform the nation.
We also want to remind the nation that yesterday, as a country, we hit yet another milestone by the Government Republic of Zambia through the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, signing the construction of the Katete Chanida project, standing at the value of 79.8 million United States dollars, a project to be undertaken on a public-private partnership module. That is evidence that this PPP module, which the New Dawn administration is promoting, is working. The government is also happy to note that such a magnitude of a project is being undertaken by a Zambian construction company. The Minister of Water Development and Sanitation addressed the nation through a ministerial statement on the floor of Parliament, where the nation was informed about the rehabilitation works that were being conducted on one of the two water pipelines servicing Lusaka from Kafue River. There has been spillage of treated water 2 kilometers off the treatment plant in Kafue, leading to a loss of about 10 million liters a day for many months, many years, without attention. The government, through the Ministry of Water, therefore, took an undertaking to rehabilitate that particular water line, which at the time of rehabilitation had reached levels of water loss.
Zanis News continues. Rehabilitation works of the Kafue Dam in Luapula District have been completed, with works costing over 2 million kwacha. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu led a team to inspect the dam. Tizao Nemlenga gives us more in this report.
This is Kafue Dam in Luapula District, which was undergoing rehabilitation works but is now complete and ready for commissioning. Rehabilitation works have been completed at a total cost of over 2 million kwacha. Northern Province Permanent Secretary led the delegation to inspect the dam.
We are here today just to appreciate what the contractors have done so far to ensure that everything is in place, and then we give signal to government to commission. The purpose of this dam is in twofold. One, to try and support local fish farming activities here in Luingu. And secondly, to assist the people of Hamasonde to have canals and furrows to enhance their vegetation or the vegetable growing activities.
A senior water engineer at the Ministry of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection gives the scope of the works.
The scope of works that was involved was vegetation control on the embankment. They need to put up the embankment. The other thing that was involved was to put up some concrete works on the spillway, starting with the seal to top structures. Initially, the length of the spillway was just going up 50 meters. So we had to extend the length of the spillway from 50 up to 130 meters.
The local people are grateful for this development.
Ntanshina bwisa muno mu Luingu district nga muchambata bakateka wesu bali tulanguluka ifwe bokuleta ekichipe kuli ba ifwe.
For Zanis in Luengo, I'm Tizao Namlenga.
Various stakeholders are happy with President Hakainde Higa's directive to improve the energy sector. President Higa yesterday directed newly appointed Ministry of Energy Permanent Secretary Peter Mumba to urgently look into the unstable and unpredictable fuel prices. Sarah Miti brings us more in this report.
From the year 2022, the Energy Regulation Board of Zambia introduced monthly reviews of petroleum products in which they announced the month's prices for petroleum products. The move was received with mixed feelings by stakeholders due to the unpredictability of fuel pump prices. Government has been aware of the sentiments, and President Hakainde Higa has directed newly appointed Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Energy, Peter Mumba, to urgently address the unstable fuel prices and bring sanity to the energy sector.
The environment, let me repeat, the environment in the energy sector, particularly the petroleum side, is hostile and is causing us to push the cost of living, to push inflation high. We need, therefore, one, to be innovative, I'm repeating, two, to be ingenious, think outside the box, three, to be quick and not sit on decisions. We want Zambians to come into the sector. Zambians, citizens, below 50 megawatts, we want to free up the installation of power for below 50 megawatts. No lengthy processes, no hullabaloo, 3 questions answered. Technical, financial, tariff. Let's give Zambians the opportunity because they have a rare opportunity to participate in the energy sector.
Various stakeholders have welcomed the directive, stating that the change will help businesses and individuals effectively project their fuel and transport costs.
As an association, I think we have been making our submissions ever since this measure was introduced with respect to the negative impact that it had on our planning and our ability to manage costs due to the monthly reviews. So it is a welcome move and commendable. The association, I think, is looking forward to an approach that encourages stabilization and will enable us to plan adequately, reinvest, and be able to produce our products more competitively. So as previously stated, I think we are looking for a review that covers a longer period of time.
We've been speaking out against this system, and we're grateful, really grateful to the President for having heard and now heeded the cry from the private sector as regards the pricing structure in the fuel industry. This move is a move long overdue. It's a move that should have taken place a long time ago, primarily because it has affected the performance of industries in one particular way. It has been very difficult for businesses to predict and project on business cost activities.
I think it's what you want from Zambia. They change the motor. Problem in you find that fuel was actually within a month, actually, so Belaki, Visa, Belaki, step money. I didn't have a motor, but Belaki getting for 50. Munga step, even in Mavana, it's not step. So, he never changed the president, at least I hope and pray new permanent secretary in your Peter Mumba. Malashka got in Manaka president. But at least now, but the guy for 3 months. Oh, now, but the guy for 3 months. But now it's fair.
President Hichilema has also tasked the new Energy Permanent Secretary to quicken decision-making in power purchase agreements and that Zambians be awarded contracts for power generation of up to 50 megawatts. The development has elated private sector players as the move will increase local participation in the economy.
The energy sector is a huge driver, and Zambians, medium and small-scale contractors, in this case, can't be left behind. They have to participate in this economic activity. If we have deliberate means of affording finance, for example, to Zambian contractors, they will definitely deliver these projects. The foreigners that are given these projects still employ Zambians. That shows you that Zambians can still run these projects. It's about packaging. When a contract is given to a Zambian, for example, if that money is kept in the system, a Zambian contractor spends that money within, you see the economy growing. But if we keep giving foreigners these contracts, all they retain here, the salaries, the bulk of the money goes to their countries and they develop their countries. I think Zambian contractors will be encouraged to grow their capacity through deliberate policies such as the one that the President pronounces.
It's important for Zambians to have an active participation in the direction of the economy. The energy sector should not be left to open market alone without the effective participation of Zambians. I feel very strongly that any form of business activity that takes place in the country must have a certain measure of Zambian participation. That's the only way you're going to grow the economy.
Sarah Miti for Zanis in Lusaka.
In Lusaka province, government says it is determined to ensure that all citizens contribute to the development of local communities and take part in economic transformation through entrepreneurship. Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Permanent Secretary Subeta Mutelo said this in a speech read for her by Business Development and Grants Assistant Director Chinyanta Chirwa during the She Rebuilds the World training workshop in Lusaka. Here are the details.
Training a cadre of young female entrepreneurs by providing them with business skills is required for them to be able to manage their businesses. For this reason, the She Rebuilds the World, a Latvian development cooperation project whose objective is to train women in entrepreneurship skills, has opened in Lusaka. Small and Medium Enterprises Development Permanent Secretary Subeta Mutelo was represented at the official opening by Business Development and Grants Assistant Director.
Government is determined to ensure that all citizens contribute to the development of our local communities and take an active part in the economic transformation of the country in a manner that contributes to wealth creation. This is the reason we seek to formalize business and showcase the exemplary firms as evidence of a pragmatic way of reaffirming that Zambia and Zambian solutions are second to none at our peak and when we put our mind to it. Therefore, my ministry shall continue to seek affordable financing for formalized micro, small, and medium enterprises, providing platforms for pitching of business ideas and seeking for incentives and promoting dedication, innovation, and market penetration.
She Builds the World founder gave the insight on the capacity building project objectives.
I know it seems a little bit kind of like too touchy-feely, but from empirical research, we know that we women are very, very smart. We have a great competence, but somehow we are not delivering that and don't send these messages in a confident way. So I think in these 3 days, when me and all are going to be working together, ladies, we're going to be able to build the confidence for the ladies to go out and say, yes, I can. I think this will be a fantastic perspective and partnerships for you ladies to go to Zimbabwe, to go to Namibia and sell your products and sell your ideas or find the partnership there.
University of Lusaka has partnered with the She Builds the World in training of female entrepreneurs.
It's a concern for us, and as such, the whole project is influenced by the low participation of women in business and opportunity of quality education. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our expectation that you will be provided with entrepreneurship skills. You will develop and present business proposals that can be funded, meaning that the business proposals must be formulated to solve problems that our communities are facing.
One of the beneficiaries of the project expressed gratitude for the training being offered to them.
In a time of learning new skills, new ideas of how we can do our businesses.
For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sunday Warrior.
Now, pupils at Ikelenge Boarding Secondary School in Northwestern Province are facing a possible disease outbreak as incomplete ablution blocks at the learning facility have left pupils in a difficult situation, subjecting them to shallow pit latrines, which are filling up quickly. The overflowing pit latrines are posing a risk to the health of pupils at the boarding school. More in this report.
Completion of Ikelenge Boarding Secondary School has been dragging for many years. Due to these delays in finishing up all parts of the infrastructure, the boarding school was initially commissioned at a private facility in early 2021, an arrangement that later proved unsustainable, forcing management to shift the school to its original boarding facility, though unfinished. Some of the incomplete parts of the school include ablution blocks. Pupils are using shallow pit latrines that are also filling up quickly. The local administration has been briefed about delays in the completion of the ablution facilities at the boarding school.
So what are they saying in terms of the completing of ablution blocks and other things?
To them, they are saying they don't have the materials and the government has not yet paid them. So they only resume on the works when the materials are provided for them.
Materials or funding? Because materials is them that look for materials.
Funding.
Funding.
Yes, please.
Members of the Parent Teacher Association, PTA, who have inspected the pit latrines are concerned for the well-being of the pupils.
We have a lot of children here. Then those pit toilets they are using, they are now full. They are stinking, smelling all over, bad smelling. So at the end of the day, we may end up losing our beloved daughters and sons, because there will be an outbreak. So we are appealing to the government so that they will quickly come on and fund the contractor so that they finish the ablution blocks.
We ask the government to expedite the process so we can have this modern school finished and our children in good state and shape. As it is, we are very disappointed with the way the toilets are. Flies, reception was also flies. And so we seek interventions that could quickly come in.
Victor Mwila for Zanis in Ikelenge, Northwestern Province.
We now move to Central Province. Kapirimposhi Member of Parliament Stanley Kakobo says government remains committed to improving access to health care for rural communities through the construction of health facilities. Mr. Kakobo said this when he commissioned a clinic in Kapisu rural community belt at a cost of 762,000 kwacha, Constituency Development Fund. More in this report.
Done deal, courtesy of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. This is Kapisu Clinic in Kapirimposhi District. Definitely a game changer in this area, where access to health services was far-fetched. Kapirimposhi Member of Parliament Stanley Kakobo has commissioned the clinic, marking the beginning of access to health care in this community.
This is a really life-changing project for the people here in Kamiri at Kapisu, and we want to do many more of these projects. There are many more that we have done that we are going to commission, but for the people of Kapisu, we've done another one at Mafwasa. That's very important, but there's still more work for us to do. So this is a demonstration of what CDF can do. So the president was right in moving money from Lusaka and devolving that funding right down up to constituency level, and this is what it's able to achieve.
The health facility, coming with a maternity wing, staff accommodation and water, will save over 3,000 people.
The residents used to cover about 20 kilometers to access healthcare service in Nkole or Chambulumina. This is against the Ministry of Health's plan of establishing a health facility every 15 kilometers. CDF is really a game changer because this will now be a thing of the past.
Health personnel have already been deployed to the clinic. Carlos Wunda, Zanis, Kaprimposhi.
Over 2.2 million kwacha under the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) loans has been disbursed in Bala District. Bala Member of Parliament Njavwa Simtowe says 22 people are benefiting from the CDF loan component. Mr. Simtowe was speaking during the award ceremony of the loans to the beneficiaries. He urged the beneficiaries to use the funds for the intended purpose, adding that diverting the funds will result in failure to pay the loans. Meanwhile, Mbala Mayor Mlenga Sinyangwe has advised the beneficiaries to desist from using the empowerment funds to buy motorbikes or vehicles. And Judith Gondwe, a beneficiary, has thanked government for the gesture and pledged to ensure that funds are used for the rightful purpose.
Constituency Development Fund empowerment loans. Ladies and gentlemen, it has taken quite a while for the process to become finalized with the banks. But today we finally hand out the much anticipated CDF empowerment loans. I am excited to announce that out the 2022 allocation of 2,299,290 kwacha, 22 beneficiaries are being awarded today, while the rest will be awarded in the next few weeks.
Grant. Bamjama grant yange shefiati yakuya but ulupia please terwakuya. Ulupia ni loni.
Na tachachitikapo ngefyo na bambi balandile. Ichikalamba chakweba ati ifefine fo twalemba. Ifefine fo tukabombe. Pantu nishina ifwe tukaba ichakumwenako na kuba nensu bambi.
Lusaka Province Minister Shiu Muliata has commissioned a 1x3 classroom block fully furnished with new desks at Luangwa Bridge Secondary School in Rufunsa District. Ms. Muliata has also commissioned another 1x3 classroom block at Kapishi Primary School, whose construction started in 2020 but had stalled. Details in this report by Loveness Piri.
This community of Kampinshi in Rufunsa District is overwhelmed with joy and can only sing and dance to express their feelings. The message in the song is also loud and clear. They had waited for this occasion for a long time, and what they had longed for is finally here. A 1x3 classroom block whose construction started in 2020 and stalled on the way due to inadequate funds.
Kapo ma classroom yake kuti vana bakwanire pasogoro futi Hakainde Higa makuti osa ikatiala maklasi ya pakire ikamoni na madeski vana bokankala pa deski sofu na mwana ali ose unkala pansi mlandu mwana kambole mbela pansi uyakawe chikopo.
Ms. Muliata also commissioned another 1x3 classroom block at Luangwa Bridge Secondary School.
The construction of the classroom block 3 double VIP toilets, and provision of 75 school desks at Luangwa Bridge Secondary School, funded under 2022 CDF. Commenced construction is 2023 at the cost of 1,165,326.18 Ingwe.
Education authorities are happy with the increased classroom blocks in schools.
We have been receiving grants. These schools you have here are not going without grants. The grants that we are receiving are actually making a difference. Schools now are not going without chalk. So when we see a 1x3 classroom block like that one, we are very sure that there's more to come.
Reporting for Zanis.
In Luapula province, the preparations for the National Day of Prayer, Fasting, Repentance and Reconciliation in Mansa District are advancing well. Luapula Province Religious Affairs Officer Placid Msonda says all churches in the province are involved and are part of the preparatory meetings. More in this report by Kennedy Chomba.
On October 18 each year, Zambians turn to the road in prayer and fasting to seek the face of the Lord. In Mansa, preparation for this year's day of prayer and fasting are progressing well.
The first meeting was done on Wednesday, where we made all the preparations, and our preparations has been made in such a way that we want all the churches, because this day is not about the government alone, but we are working in a collaboration with the church. So all the mother bodies were present.
The event in Mansa, which will be held at Mansa College of Education, is being spearheaded by various churches in the district.
We have started writing letters to all the churches, inviting them to come and participate in this national important event. The response from the church has been very fantastic. We have been working together, and they are very much willing to participate in this year's National Day of Prayer.
This year's National Day of Prayer and Fasting will be commemorated under the theme, Building Zambia for a Greater Development Through Prayer, Unity and Hard Work. Kenneth Chomba reporting for Zanis News in Mansa District.
And as we head towards independence celebrations this month on the 24th of October, freedom fighters have called on Zambians to uphold the prevailing peace in the country. Mama Betty Chilunga explains that the absence of peace and tolerance among the citizenry, no development can be achieved.
As Zambia prepares to celebrate 59 years of independence from colonial rule, Zanis took time to interact with freedom fighters who fought during the country's emancipation struggle. During the interactions, the freedom fighters asserted the need to safeguard and protect the peace the country is enjoying.
People of Zambia must uphold and guard jealously the peace that is prevailing in our country. You know that Zambia is known as a beacon of peace in this region. Therefore, it is our responsibility as Zambians to guard this peace, because you know without peace there won't be development.
As we are celebrating 59 years, we are saying we must be happy because we have served 59 years without any struggles.
Calls for national unity took center stage during the interaction.
Zambia, let us love one another. Let us not look about this one comes from southern, this one comes from northern, this one comes from northwestern. No, we are all one.
Stop fighting with others. What we are after is peaceful.
This year's 59th independence anniversary will be commemorated under the theme Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Distribution of Resources. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makods.
A football club proprietor has called on the football fraternity to remain united and keep the legacy of the late legendary football commentator Dennis Liwewe alive. In an interview with Zanis, Dennis Liwewe's football club president Levi Chedwa said the football fraternity should be determined to continue with the legacy of veteran football commentator to help future generations appreciate the role he played in the development of sports in Zambia. As we end Zanis News, we recap on the headlines. President Hichilema calls for collaboration in safeguarding the environment. Sport cash payment elects Muchinga farmers. Directive to address unstable fuel price welcomed. Plus football fraternity aged to keep Dennis Liwewe's legacy. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, we are one Zambia, one nation. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, my name is Juliet Mtele, saying bye-bye and God bless.